Hey guys, it's Logan again. Welcome back to another video tutorial on creating an advanced platformer in GameMaker Studio 2. In this video, we're going to be creating our camera, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. And there's a lot of people that are intimidated with GameMaker Studio 2's camera system, and it's just not intimidating. It's really not difficult. I'm going to show you in 2 lines of code how to set your camera up and have it following our player smoothly. So it's going to be a quick video, so let's get started. Well, the first thing that we're going to do, you can do this through code, but I'm going to show you, I guess, the easy way. And we'll go back later and do the code if we need to, but we're going to enable our viewport. So we need to go to our room, go to our properties, check mark enable viewports, and let's make our first viewport visible, all right? And what this is going to do is whatever we set these viewport properties to is what our windows are going to be resized to, because it's our first room in our game, and as well as our application surface, so our draw surface. So if I enter 512 by 3, I don't know what that is, 384, I believe, and I hit run, it's actually going to give us our original 16 by 16 graphics, or I think it's 16 by 16. It might be a little bit bigger, 32 by 32 possibly. But you'll see it's just a scaled down version of the game. So if we go back up, and you'll see it resized our application or our draw surface and our window, and it centered it for us and all that. It did it all for us just by enabling these properties. So our initial size of our game we're gonna put here, and we want 124 by what's that, 764 or 768. Okay, and now you'll see it's our resolution that we had before. So our draw surface is larger, our window's larger, and our window's centered. So all we did after all that is just check mark these 2 boxes. That's the basic part. Okay, so next we're gonna create our camera object. So let's go to our objects and hit create, and let's just name it O Camera. Standard, what you do in the old GameMaker if you used an object for your camera. And we're gonna create use a create event, and we're just going to type initialize camera. 2 lines of code. So the first thing we're going to do is create our camera, and we're also going to save our created camera into a variable that we'll call main camera. So we're going to use main camera equals camera create view, and I'm going to maximize this for you guys and bring this up. So we're using camera create view, and this does all the hard stuff for us. We just assign it some properties, and there we go, our camera's created. So we create it at our X position, our Y position, and the width of our view. So we're gonna go ahead and actually make 2 more variables. We're gonna use width equals, remember 1024, that's what we assigned for our viewport at the start of the game. So this is how much we want our camera to see. And then height is 300, what was it, 768. There we go. And we can change these values later. That's why I'm saving them in variables. And then let's assign it width, height. So we have X, Y, width, height. Our angle is 0. We want to draw it with not angled at all. What object is it following? Well, ourself. So we're going to use self. X speed, we'll give it -1, so it doesn't have a speed, it's just always locked on to our camera object. And Y speed, the same. And the X border, we'll use width divided by 2, and our Y border, we'll use height divided by 2. And there we go, our camera's set up. We just have to do one more thing. We have to assign this camera to a view. So we do, oh, I just went blank. We do a view camera 0. So we're assigning a camera to our viewport. So basically our camera is assigned to moving that viewport around. And we're going to assign our main camera to it. And you could make this 1 line if you wanted. You could do view camera like that. But I am saving main camera in a variable for future use. Actually, you could just reference this, but this is just how I like to do it, so bear with it. Okay, and that's all we have to do. Our camera's now set up. The only other thing we have to do is move our actual O camera object, because remember, this view is following our camera object, but currently our camera object is not moving. So we're going to go into our step event for our camera, and we're going to use the lerp function so we can have a smooth camera. So we're going to use x equals lerp, x between our x and our O player dot x, and then let's give it a 0.1 ratio. And y equals lerp, same thing, y O player dot y, give it a 0.1 ratio. Basically, this is saying what's our x2 value? Well, it's O player dot x, and we're subtracting the rx, and then we're multiplying that by 1, and that's where we're moving to. Okay, so now we have that, and that's it. Next thing we have to do is create our camera object. We're going to create that in our game controller. If you're watching this and not following the tutorial, you just want to make sure this camera is created before the player, since it's trying to access the player's position. So my game controller is the first thing created in my game. So down here at the bottom, I'm just going to do instance create depth, or no, not depth. I'm going to use instance create layer, and we're going to create it at our object player dot, our object player actually isn't created. We're just going to create it at 0, 0. And then we are going to give it a layer ID, which we saved up here, our main layer. We're just going to copy and paste that. Or you just use instances as your default layer. And then we give it the object that we want to create, and that's our O camera. All right, and let's see if this works. I'm gonna go ahead and comment this, create camera. Actually, we have to make our room slightly bigger to be able to have the camera move around, because right now our room is the same size as our viewport, you could see, so it's obviously not gonna move. So we're gonna go to our room settings, and I'm gonna make it twice as big, so I'm gonna use 2048 for our width by crap, I don't know what that is. 768, 1400, 1536. I think that could be way off. Okay, and that should be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit play, and we have a smooth working camera. Check that out. That easy, guys. All we did, 2 lines of code to set the camera up and made sure our viewport was enabled and all that, and it's super smooth. You can see when we kind of fall, it kind of falls with us, and then it smooths out. This is all done by lerp, basically. Lerp is super useful. And that's it. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Don't be intimidated by GameMaker's views. You can do some more complicated stuff with them, and if you follow this tutorial, you're going to see that. We're going to have like points of interest, like let's say there's something up here. Our camera will kind of pan up there to look at it. We're going to use screen shake. We're going to do all that kind of stuff. So follow this tutorial, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you.